Hey everyone, so you saw the title, we're going to learn some guitar fretboard notes. So I found myself wanting to learn some more music theory, and a small step on that journey is being able to know what notes you're playing when you've learnt some chord patterns or scale patterns, and being able to find where notes are on the fretboard. There are some tricks out there to be able to find notes on the fretboard fairly quickly, but this was easier and quicker for me. There was a bit of upfront prep, but I've done that and now I can share it with you guys. So I honestly think there's a chance that by the end of this fairly short video, you might be able to recall any note, any string, any fret on demand, just from nothing. Let's see what happens. Quick disclaimer, you will need to focus intently. It's easy to sit back with YouTube videos and sort of follow along and sort of nod along, very interesting, but it may not go in. You want to be staring at this thing, thinking hard in your head and straining to come up with the answer at each point. That feeling is learning, is memory association, so work hard at this, but you won't need to do it for too long, I hope. So the memory trick we're going to use is mnemonics. Mnemonics? And you probably already know one of those for the open strings on a guitar, EADGBE. For me, that's Eddie 8 Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. So we want to do that for the rest of the notes, but of course there are sharps and flats, and unless you get the word sharp or flat in there, it's not going to work. So what we need is a letter for every note that there is. So the first weird thing you'll find in this video, we're going to invent some new note names. What we're going to have is so that all of these new letters always turn into a sharp. Here's an example. For C sharp, we're going to take the C and rotate it. It's a U. So if you find a U, you know it's not a regular music note, there's no such note as U, so it's going to be a sharp, and of course U spins round and turns into C. That's the concept. For A sharp, we turn it upside down and it becomes a V. D sharp, you squish it up a bit and it turns into a P. For F sharp, you move that little bit around and it's a T. And for G sharp, get rid of that big curve and you're left with a J. J and G also sound quite similar, which helps. So on the flip side, U spins round to become a C sharp, V flips over to become A sharp, P plops down to D sharp, T, ding, F sharp. Now you're getting it. What we got now is a series of letters that relate to all the notes, and what we need is a mnemonic for every fret, and it's got to be memorable. So bearing in mind that the 6th and the 1st string are the same, E and E, for each fret we have 5 letters that we need to tell a story about a number, so that when we think of that number, the fret number, we think of the story and the letters in that story, and then voila, we'll have the note names for the fret. This is where it gets weird. So memory association is strongest when there's a sense associated with it, strong emotions or senses. So if an image in your mind is smelly, hot, cold, slimy, angry, really emotive, hilarious, it's more memorable. So we need stories that are weird. So we're going to look for weird, memorable phrases with our new alphabet of notes. Here we go then. With any luck, you may only need to hear these once or twice and they will be stuck in your head forever. First 4 coming up and then we'll recap. For the first fret, number 1, think solo. In fact, a violin solo. Frozen violin played by Jesus Christ. I know. So imagine he's there in the dark, alone, playing this dripping, freezing violin made of ice with a crown of thorns. Accentuate the main words. Frozen violin played by Jesus Christ. Fret 1, frozen is F, violin, V, which turns into A sharp, played, P, turns into D sharp, Jesus, J, turns into G sharp, Christ, C. Think the phrase in your head and say the notes with me. F, A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, C, and then F again for the first string. So you will find yourself stopping and thinking between each note for the first few phrases. That's normal. That gets less the more you repeat this exercise. 2. Twins. That's B-E-A-beautiful. The Jim Carrey thing. I don't do that accent. Imagine someone's just given birth to twins. Twins? That's beautiful. Like the Jim Carrey line, yeah. Think the phrase in your head and say the notes with me. F sharp, B, E, A, C sharp. So number 3 should make you think of a pyramid, a triangle. It's a little known, completely made up fact that in ancient Egypt they used guard cats instead of guard dogs. The phrase is, guard cat feels very dry. Yeah, because it's like really hot. Poor little guy. 3. Pyramid. Think the phrase and say the notes. G, C, F, A sharp, D. 4. It's a square. Think of a block in Mario. The phrase, jump up to break Powerup. That's an easy one. 4 sides of a square. This one has a lot of funny letters, so we'll recap on those and then we'll do it freely. Think the phrase and say the notes. Jump, J, sounds like G, so it's G sharp. Up, U, spins around to C sharp. T, that little bit moves down to F, so F sharp. B is B. P plops down to D, so D sharp. One more time, think the phrase and say the notes. G sharp, C sharp, F sharp, B, D sharp. Alright, hopefully you're frowning at the screen and it's getting in there. Quick test though, think back to number 2. So it was 2. Twins, that's beautiful. The notes and letters, F sharp, B, E, A, C sharp. Okay, cool, so we're getting it now. We need to power through the remaining 7 and then that's it. The process is, think of the fret number, that's a number. What's the association with that number and what's the story behind that? Read out the words in the story, first letter turns into a note. That happens more and more automatically and quickly the few times that you do this. 5. Fingers, in fact a fist. Aggressive dickhead gets comeuppance eventually. No special letters then. A, D, G, C, E. 6, for me that made me think of a dice, dice. So gambling in Las Vegas. Vegas player jumps up finally. There's a bedraggled guy, he's been gambling for hours and losing all his cash. Finally he gets a turn of good luck, so Vegas player jumps up finally. Think the phrase and say the notes. A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, F. 7, days of the week. So picture some beads on a thread, 7 coloured beads on a thread. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the phrase is beads on a thread. B, E, A, D, F sharp. Think the phrase, say the notes. B, E, A, D, F sharp. 8. What I thought of here was an octopus, like a piratey octopus. So it's a cartoon octopus going after pirate ship treasure, but it can't find very precious gems. It's all slimy and gross and frustrated. The octopus, it can't find very precious gems. Think of the phrase and say the notes. C, F, A sharp, D sharp, G. 9, a cat has 9 lives. In this case, it's like a really gross, aggressive tomcat. So, unhinged tomcat bites everyone's jugular. It's a crazy street cat, stinky and bedraggled. Unhinged tomcat bites everyone's jugular. Yeah, I know this is weird, but it's memorable because it's weird. So think the phrase and say the notes for 9 lives. C sharp, F sharp, B, E, G sharp. 10 fingers, 10 fingers. Best one I could come up with for this. A crappy game that you play with your hands. Digit game, count fingers accurately. So imagine holding out your 10 fingers, digit game, count fingers accurately. So here we go. D, G, C, F, A. Easy. Right, and finally, because the 12th fret would be back to open strings again, back to Eddie 8 Dynamite, goodbye Eddie. 11th fret, 11. It was toughest to find something to associate with a number 11 that had the letters PJ, UTV. So what I came up with was PJs, TV, sounds like something an 11-year-old might enjoy. So when you're 11, you like PJs and unlimited TV. PJ, UTV. PJs and unlimited TV. So, finally, think that phrase and say the notes. D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, F sharp, A sharp. Cool. And that is it. To practice this, think of a fret, think of the number of the fret, think of the association, work through the phrase, say the notes. Hold a guitar while you're doing it and pick a fret at random, play through them, say the notes as you play it, repeat that, and much more easily than other methods, I think you'll find the note in no time at all. So if you want to try this, I'd suggest you bookmark this video and repeat the same run through every day for like a week, and after that every week for just a few weeks, and then come back after a few months. Initially you need to repeat it quite a lot every day. After that it fades, and with any luck it will then stay in your memory forever. Referring back to a Derren Brown memory book that I read ages ago, which had some similar tricks. Telephone, sausage, monkey, button, book, cabbage, glass, mouse. Don't know if anyone gets that reference, but if I got it right, let me know. So all this is a technique for learning those notes quickly. It's not something you want to show off particularly. It's just another tool to have in your arsenal. For me, I needed to know when I'm playing this chord, what's that note? And this just speeds up that process. Hopefully it helps everyone out there who's looking to start their music theory journey with guitar. If you found it worked or didn't work, or have another phrase, another suggestion, let me know in the comments. That's about it from me. Thanks very much for watching. Do the like, do the subscribe if you would please, and I'll see you next time.